Hi YouTube, welcome back to another video from Wtf Rc Cars. So, TRX4, we had it all set up on the MB4. We've now swapped it over to the Noble Pro. Binding, didn't have to do any updates on the FGR 8B receiver. Just bound it in enhanced mode straight up to the Noble Pro. So, what have we got set up? So, first off, we've got front diff open, and then if we do that, front diff locked. We've got rear diff open or rear diff locked. We've got the light bar. We've got the full Traxxas lights, all working off remote. Obviously, standard steering. Then on this side, we've got the horn. On this side, we've got the high and low speed transmission. So we can just switch between them. If you push forward on this, we've got cruise control, and then on the lower wheel, you can just change the actual cruise control. If you hit the brake or press cruise control again, it'll turn cruise control off. The RX voltage icon, we have that set up so it's displaying at the moment the voltage from the BEC, which we've also got set up to 7.4 volt because we're running all the TR4 micro servos and the Servos servo for the steering. So one thing that I've seen crop up quite a lot about the Noble MB4 was the diff locks and the lights. People wanted to be able to change the way that the green sort of level icon shows up on the screen, and I'm going to bring you in for a close-up look of how the Noble Pro does it, and I think most of you will agree this is vastly better than just being able to see the green bars. But let's get you in for a closer look and we'll crack on with video. Right, so I'll try and do my best to take you through how we've got this set up. So basically, as you can see here, all the diff lock, lights, shift, everything is all lit up. And if we change shift now, it'll tell you if you're in high or low ratio. Then if we turn the lights on, you can see the lights have come on, but it also says lights on the screen. Then we've got the horn set, and that one's whistle, but it does work. And then both the diff locks, if I try and get this in shot, when they pushed forward, so when they pushed that way, they both locked, and as you move them back, they then unlock. So you know just by glancing at your controller whether you're in high or low ratio, whether your diffs are locked or anything. And it's just really convenient. Now, how we've got this set up, so if we go to model memory, channel number we've got set on 8 obviously, and then in RX set we've got all the servos set at 333. Now this seems to work well with the Servos servos, with the Hobbywing ESC, but it also works well with these switches that we've got all set up. So how do we get as little name tags? Unlike the MB4, the Noble Pro has auxiliary setting. Now what you do in here, you work out which channels you've got plugged into which servo. So like channel 6, we have the normal lights, so that is on that button. So what you do, you then go into channel 6, you go to name, click the menu at the bottom, and then you've got all these different devices, and if you use a name off here, that will then work to tell you that the device is on or off, rather than just give you a random green bar that shows you where the servo position's at. So you have got quite a lot of options in here. and every one of these options will get rid of the green bar and display the actual status of that device. So as lights, we have on off. When you go in here, you then click the one you want, and then all your channels now are named, and the ones that are named, they will have your actual device setting on the screen instead. So the bottom one, if we'd got that set to, might be on steering rate as standard, so it's going to show your steering rate. You want that to show a device or a servo status. You then go and click it, and then you've got your device status. So, but certainly for me, the shift and the actual diff lock, unlock, they are incredibly useful. One thing you might have when you're configuring this, so if we go into menu, so this is where you'd configure your lights, and then you tell it which switch you want it to be on. So you've got normal and reverse. So if we reverse it in here, so let's have a look. So reversing it in that menu won't change it. But if you then reverse it in there and then come out, so now it says lights are on but they're off. Now it says they're off but they're actually on. So if you do get that position where your diff says it's locked when it's open or open when it's locked, you go in just the normal servo reverse. So we find as lights again, reverse it, and then as lights are off when they should be off, on when they should be on. And that would work exactly the same for any of the diff locks or anything. If the device is saying it's locked when it's unlocked, just reverse it in the servo reverse thing. It doesn't seem to change it on here though. So if we change the lights onto normal from there, they still work the same. So it still says off when it's off, on when it's on. The only thing that changes that is if you reverse it in the actual reverse option. Voltage wise, I think it's in here, RX battery. So to get the icon to show full, even though it's running off BEC, I've set my BEC to 7.4 volts, so I've set my high to 7.4. If you were to set this to a higher voltage, you notice your RX icon goes down. Now, I do know on the Noble Pro, MB4, sorry, there has been an update to allow you to sign the DVB to that icon. But at the moment on the Pro, if I select external, it just shows 0 voltage. So it's looking for an actual sensor, not the DVB sensor. And I can't seem to find any option to select DVB. So I'm wondering if that's going to be changed in a later firmware update. We can go to DVB calibration. You can see that's working. And if we come all the way out, we've got DVB voltage here. So if we go to choose sensors, I've got DVB voltage. I've also got an alarm set for 9.9 volt. It should never get that low. Top one I've set at 13 because it'll never be higher than that. But if it gets down to 3.3 volt a cell, it'll start triggering alert for me. But hopefully that gives you some idea of what's changed on the Pro and how you can set it up to have what I would say is a much more useful sort of readout on this display. The only thing that I am struggling with in the minute is the actual light bar, because that's got a really weird switch where it's just, you move it all the way one way and all the way back to get it to actually turn on and off. So as you can see, it does turn it on and off, but it always says it's on when you let go, and I haven't found a way to configure that yet. But let's wrap this one up. Right, so hopefully that makes a lot of sense to you. If you need me to go into a more in-depth way of how we've actually configured all these servos and everything, more than happy to do a video. Leave a comment below. But I think most of you will agree that is a huge update. To be able to just glance down at your controller, see which diff's locked, which is unlocked, and just be able to name the actual devices, servos and light controllers, to be what they actually are on your vehicle. The only one that we've got that's not quite perfect, and it's because this doesn't run off a traditional switch where one way is on and one way is off. It literally has to go full one way and back, full one way and back to turn it on and off. So that's the only one that you can't really make sense on the controller. But if you press the button and you don't notice a massive bright light bar's on, then you're probably looking at the wrong RC. Right, so thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of video and find it useful, entertaining, please share to friends and family. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and drop a like on the video. And I shall catch you guys again in the next one.